what I think is dangerous is expecting or putting the onus on the writer to be a moral guide. I feel like that is happening a little bit with, you know, with writers of color, where, and Isabelle just said something about that, where it's sort of this burden of educating the right way to think about race, or the right way to be, becomes, you know, an expectation. And I think that that's great if the writer wants to occupy that role, and that's wonderful if that is what a writer wants to do. But I think that art also has the ability to allow us to experience ambiguity and nuance, and maybe also sort of those those failures of moral. Like there's a lot of complexity involved. There's like shame. There's like self-loathing. There's internalized racism. There's like all these levels of experience, and I think it can be like, again, it comes back to, you know, being able to read. Like if we expect art and literature to give us moral guidance, maybe it sort of dampens our ability to read more finely. And I think that that can affect the way that we also read each other in life, in the world. So they're just some thoughts, and I don't have any clear answers for it. I am concerned with the political and with the historical in my work, but I'm also concerned with, you know, interiority, with just, you know, the apolitical, with escapism, with just a lot of things, desire, and, you know, so different levels. What about you, V? Do you feel a responsibility to address social complications?
I mean, it's the same questions that, you know, like, should writers, Vietnamese writers, male writers particularly, who have achieved enormous success in the literary industry, should they now be mentoring young young folks, Vietnamese American, and should they take the burden? And I remember talking to Katrina Dotson, actually, and she said, you know, they are not obligated to, you know, and I see her point, you know. I see that, you know, like if you have taken so much work and time to climb a mountain, and you are sitting up at the peak and you're admiring the landscape and the clouds and you're inhaling its beauty, and you see one person young struggling down below, trying to climb a mountain of razor blades, and it's struggling and they're bleeding, do you look down, you like, do you enjoy the scene, or do you turn a blind eye and just say, well, I went through that, good luck? I mean, I worry that the Vietnamese womanness in us that want to sacrifice, want to do that same thing that we fight not to do. So in many ways, I'm like, I understand where Katrina is coming from, but I also think that if you enter a church and there is a basket of money and no one is looking, and you can walk away with that basket of money and you steal it from the church and no one sees it, should you do it anyway?